Saquon Barkley has a high ankle sprain. He's expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks. Chris Mortensen of ESPN reports that Barkley is getting a second opinion from noted foot and ankle guy Robert Anderson in Charlotte on Wednesday. Barkley's already met with Giants team consultant Dr. Martin O'Malley after suffering that high ankle sprain. The expectation is Barkley will miss up to 2 months. But he once came back after only 2 weeks with a high ankle sprain during his freshman year at Penn State. And, Chris, this is weird. And maybe it's the Daniel Jones frenzy in New York, but this is a big injury. This is a big deal. And nobody seems to be losing their minds about it the way they should be.
No, I think you're spot on, Mike. They're not up here in New York for a superstar player. I mean, Saquon Barkley is one of the best offensive players in the game. But I do think, your take that, yes, the Daniel Jones frenzy is so real up here with New York right now. I do think that's taken off some of the edge about Saquon being hurt. And a few of my Giant friends, too, I've just heard even here in the NBC office, like, they don't care right now. It's almost like they're looking at it like, oh, save Saquon. Next year's the year we need him. It's almost all about the development of Daniel Jones right now. And that's kind of the sense I get here. That's why there's not like a panic or a media frenzy about Saquon Barkley being hurt.
Yeah, I agree. There's that relief that they now have something to build around in the future, even though this year kind of conceded it to the Cowboys. And I think if you're in that division at this point, it's tempting to say it's Dallas's year, let them have it, let's regroup and rebuild for next year. But when you look at that division now with Daniel Jones, if Dwayne Haskins ends up being the real deal in Washington, Carson Wentz in Philly, Dak in Dallas, this is the new NFC South potentially for great quarterbacks top to bottom.
It really is. It's impressive. Young guys who are, the future. Dak Prescott, the dollars just keep going up on a weekly basis. I mean, I watched that film yesterday against the Dolphins, and, man, did he make some unreal plays and throws once again. And we know Wentz and what he's capable of. And, yeah, Daniel Jones certainly off to a good start, which could set up to, great years of rivalries. We are looking for that next, great quarterback rivalry and more Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady type of things, and at least has some possibilities there in the NFC East. But, hey, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley in the future is going to be special. I feel pretty good about that, just saying that now, what I've seen. I mean, between Pat Shurmur's offense and how he can get the running back the ball and the way Daniel Jones looks through the preseason and last week, if you're a Giant fan, you got to be excited about that combination going forward.
Yeah, And if I'm the Giants, what do I really do? Do I risk re-aggravation? Do I risk something more serious is going to linger into preparations for 2020? How do you balance that out? I think you just want the guy back if you can get him back. And that's the best news for the Giants.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones did what he did on Sunday without Saquon Barkley.
Right.
You add Saquon Barkley to the mix. I'm talking about the comeback. Barkley was there early on, and they did the read option play, and it helped set it up because Barkley was the guy that everybody thought had the ball.
Right.
But the 28-10 deficit was overcome with Barkley in a walking boot.
Yeah, right.
And so you think about where they could go from here as they build out this team. So I think there's reason for optimism, reason for hope. Regardless of whether or not Saquon Barkley comes back at all this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. And to your point, that's going to be the exciting thing about what the Giants could be offensively, because Pat Shurmur, as we saw in the game yesterday, he's got a lot of good ways and creative ways to push the ball down the field. And Daniel Jones is aggressive. He's looking to stand in the pocket and make throws down the field. And why that's important is because as they continue to do that, defenses are going to be more aware of it. They're going to push people back in the secondary to take away some of those big plays. And that's where Saquon Barkley will become special in the pass game. And that's where they're going to be able to stress people when he is healthy. Because, you want to drop back and take away our deep shots down the field? Oh, well, man, there's a lot of room underneath. Here's Saquon Barkley one-on-one with your linebacker. Let's see how you do there. A little bit, Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara-ish. I mean, I think Saquon Barkley can be used in a very similar way, yet he's probably, he's a better between the tackles runner than Alvin Kamara.
You know, we talked earlier about Super Bowl odds, and the Giants are at 200-1 now to win it all. And I don't think that's a long shot that anyone who is inclined to wager their hard-earned money should consider. But they could get to 2-3 this weekend with a win over Washington. Then the Vikings are coming to town the following week. Who knows what will happen there? At the New England Patriots, probably isn't going to be a game that works out well for the Giants. But hey, the Giants historically have given the Patriots everything they can handle.
Yep.
Although with different quarterbacks, different coaches, different everything. Cardinals game should be a win at the Lions. Very fascinating. Cowboys game at MetLife Stadium. You know, I love it. You know, I'm not ready to just say they're done.
Yeah,
I'm not
I get
ready
you.
to say let's close the books on 2019. They could make it interesting, even though they should be 0-3. They should have lost that game to Tampa Bay. Ultimately, it was what Tampa Bay did wrong that delivered the victory for the Giants, not what the Giants did right. But I just like the fact that with so many teams that are truly hopeless, here's a team that has some hope.
Yeah, right.
At least into October, right? Because my concern about this season, the NFL's 100th season, that they want to be very special. They want as many teams to be alive in December as possible.
Yeah. It's not looking good right now.
I think by Thanksgiving, it really is going to be whittled down to 10 teams who have a realistic shot at most at getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it might not be a great end of the regular season, but it'll look great in the playoffs. We'll have fun that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.